All right, guys. So today we are going to practice calculating the percent of our paycheck. But before I release you guys on the Canvas assignment, I wanted to make a real quick short tutorial video just to remind you how to calculate percent. So here is an example of a pay stub. Now, there is a lot of information here, a lot of abbreviations and dates and numbers, so it can be super overwhelming. The first thing I want you guys to pay attention to is current earnings. Current earnings represents the gross pay for this paycheck. Everything to the right of this current earnings is considered deductions. Another thing that I want you guys to pay attention to is the word YTD. It's spelled out here, year to date, but we also abbreviate it as YTD so that you can keep up with how much you have made in a year or how much you have had deducted in a year. So if I'm trying to calculate the amount of state tax coming out or the amount of federal tax coming out, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the amount of current tax, so current amount, so this column here, I'm going to put it over my current earning, so this part here. And when I put that in the calculator, I'm going to get a decimal version of percent of gross pay. So let's look at that in action. If I want to find the percent of gross pay for state tax, then I'm going to start with what is my state tax amount in current. It's $87.69. I'm going to put this over my current earnings, which is $2307.69. When I put this in the calculator, I get 0.0379. Now, I'm looking for a percent, not a decimal. So we know that we move the decimal to the right 2 times. So I'm going to get 3.79. Now, a lot of you guys are going to ask, where do you round to? What number do you round to? On this particular one, the actual decimal is 0.03799. So I went ahead and rounded to 0.8, 3.8%. For those of you who have had me before or have asked this question before, I do not care where you round to as long as you round correctly. If you were to put 3.7, that is not correct. That is a wrong rounding or an inaccurate way to round. So make sure you're rounding correctly. The second example I want to show you guys is federal tax. So I come back up here, I look at the federal tax being withdrawn, $281.54. I put this on top of my current earnings, $2307.69. When I put this in the calculator, I get 0.122. Now, if I move this decimal 2 places, my percent is 12.2%. This is all I wanted to show you guys on calculations, and you now have a Canvas assignment, multiple choice, to go practice doing this calculation on your own.